Welcome back to Coin Quest, where we uncover the hidden treasures buried in your pocket change and deep within old coin collections. Today, we're diving into a truly historic and potentially valuable coin, the 1917 Lincoln wheat penny. This tiny piece of copper might look ordinary at first glance, but it holds an incredible story, significant history, and for the right collector, a very high price tag. So grab your magnifying glass and let's explore why the 1917 Lincoln penny is one of the most fascinating 1-cent coins you could ever find. Let's start with the history. The 1917 Lincoln wheat cent was minted over 100 years ago during a very turbulent time in American and world history. The United States had just entered World War I. Across the Atlantic, global powers were engaged in one of the deadliest conflicts in human history. Back home, President Woodrow Wilson was leading a nation grappling with its role on the world stage. Amidst this backdrop, the San Francisco Mint was busy striking coins, including the humble 1-cent Lincoln penny bearing the S Mint mark. This penny was designed by Victor David Brenner, the same sculptor who created the original Lincoln design first introduced in 1909. His portrait of Abraham Lincoln marked the first time a real historical figure appeared on a U.S. circulating coin. On the obverse, or the front, you'll find the iconic profile of President Lincoln facing right, with the motto "In God We Trust" inscribed along the top, the word "Liberty" to the left, and the date 1917 to the right. Just below the date, if you look carefully, you'll spot a small S. That's the mint mark showing it was struck in San Francisco. Turn the coin over, and you'll see the familiar wheat ears flanking the denomination 1 cent with the inscription "United States of America" below. Above all that is the Latin phrase "e pluribus unum," meaning out of many, one. Now, let's talk numbers. The San Francisco Mint struck just over 32 million of these 1917 wheat pennies. While that may sound like a lot, keep in mind that most of these coins have long since disappeared from circulation. They were spent, worn down, lost, or damaged beyond recognition over the decades. Surviving examples, especially those in high-grade condition, are quite rare. And rarity is one of the biggest drivers of value in the world of coin collecting. If you happen to find a 1917 Lincoln penny in your change, which is extremely unlikely but not impossible, chances are it will be heavily worn. Even in low grades, these coins can fetch a few dollars. A well-circulated example in good condition might be worth $1 to $5 depending on the overall look and demand. But things start to get interesting as we move into higher grades. In fine condition, you might be looking at $10 to $20. A very fine 1917 penny could bring in $30 to $45, and one in extremely fine condition might command $60 to $90 or more. But once you get into uncirculated or mint state grades, that's where the big money starts rolling in. A mint state 60 or MS60 1917 penny can be worth around $300 to $500 depending on eye appeal, color, and strike quality. Coins in MS63 red-brown condition often sell for $800 to $1,000, and those graded MS65 red, the holy grail for Lincoln penny collectors, have been known to reach $6,000 to $9,000, with some even crossing the $10,000 mark at auction. So what makes these high-grade examples so valuable? First, San Francisco Mint coins from this era are notoriously known for weak strikes and uneven coloring. Finding a 1917 penny with a strong strike, rich red color, and few marks is incredibly difficult. Secondly, fewer people saved coins during World War I, especially pennies from everyday transactions. Unlike the 1909 SVDB, which was heavily hoarded, the 1917 just quietly circulated. To date, only a handful of 1917 Lincoln cents have ever been graded by PCGS or NGC in full red condition above MS65. This makes them highly sought after by serious numismatists who are trying to complete a full set of wheat pennies in top grades. If you have one of these coins lying around, it's definitely worth checking closely. Look at the date. Is there an S Mint mark below the year? Then look at the surface. Is it still shiny with reddish tones, or is it dark and worn? Even if it's circulated, it could still be worth a decent amount, especially if it has sharp details and a clean surface. One collector recently paid over $12,000 for a certified 1917 Lincoln wheat penny in MS66 red. That's right, a 1-cent coin sold for $12,000. This wasn't just about metal content or age. It was about rarity, condition, and historical importance. In today's coin market, values for the 1917 penny are steady and even climbing, especially for high-grade examples. Collectors are constantly hunting for early Lincoln cents to complete their collections. With increased interest in rare coins and the security of tangible assets, prices for key date coins like this have seen consistent demand. Even if you don't have a perfect specimen, having any 1917s in your collection adds historical depth and value. So, where can you find one? You might get lucky at estate sales, coin shops, flea markets, or by sifting through old family coin jars. Online auction sites and certified dealers also offer 1917s Lincoln pennies, but be cautious, the market is full of clean coins, counterfeits, and altered dates. Always consider buying coins graded by a trusted third-party service like PCGS or NGC.to. Wrap it up, the 1917s Lincoln Wheat penny isn't just an old coin. It's a snapshot of American history, a survivor of wartime economy, and for collectors, a potential hidden gem. Whether you find one in a dusty box or purchase one for your collection, it's a piece of numismatic art that continues to captivate collectors around the world. And with current market values ranging from just a few dollars to well over 10,000, it's safe to say this penny is definitely worth more than just 1 cent. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful or inspiring, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe for more rare coin stories, and drop a comment below if you've ever come across a 1917s Lincoln penny. Until next time, keep collecting, stay curious, and as always, happy hunting, where we explore some of the most fascinating and valuable coins in U.S. history. Today, we're diving into the world of Lincoln cents and taking a close look at one of the most iconic coins ever minted, the 1940 Abraham Lincoln Wheat penny. This humble-looking coin could be hiding a small fortune in your pocket change, and by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for, what makes certain 1940 Lincoln cents extremely valuable, and how much they're worth in today's market. Let's start with a bit of history. The Lincoln Wheat penny, also known as the Lincoln cent, was first introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. Designed by Victor David Brenner, it was the first regular-issue U.S. coin to feature a real person, and that person was none other than the 16th President of the United States, Abraham Lincoln. The reverse design featured 2 wheat ears, one on each side, which is why these coins are commonly called wheat pennies. Now let's fast forward to 1940. That year, the United States was still recovering from the Great Depression, and World War II was escalating in Europe. Although America had not yet entered the war, preparations were underway, and the U.S. Mint continued producing coins in large quantities to keep the economy flowing. Over 586 million Lincoln Wheat pennies were struck in 1940 across 3 different mints, Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The Philadelphia Mint produced the majority, with over 586 million coins struck without a mint mark. The Denver Mint, which used a small D mint mark just below the date on the coin's obverse, minted more than 81 million coins. The San Francisco Mint, marked with an S, produced around 112 million coins that year. Even though the 1940 penny isn't considered extremely rare in general circulation, certain examples can be worth thousands of dollars depending on their condition, variety, and whether any errors are present. Let's break that down. First up, let's talk about condition. The value of a 1940 wheat penny can vary significantly depending on its grade. In circulated condition, most 1940 Lincoln cents are worth between 3 and 25 cents. That might not sound like much, but when you move into higher grades, the story changes dramatically. A 1940 penny in uncirculated or mint state condition, meaning it has never been used in circulation and shows no signs of wear, can be worth up to $10 or more. If it has been graded MS-65 or higher by professional grading companies like PCGS or NGC, its value can jump to $50 or more. In the rare case that it's nearly flawless with full red luster, it could sell for hundreds of dollars at auction. Now let's talk about errors and varieties, because this is where things get exciting. Some 1940 Lincoln Wheat pennies are highly sought after because of unusual minting errors. One of the most valuable varieties is the 1940 doubled die obverse, where the image and letters on the front of the coin appear slightly doubled. This error can be difficult to spot with the naked eye, but collectors are willing to pay a premium for these coins. Depending on the strength of the doubling and the coin's condition, a 1940 doubled die wheat penny can sell for several hundred to even thousands of dollars. Another notable error is the off-center strike, where the coin's design is not perfectly centered. These can range in value from $10 to over $100 depending on the percentage of the off-center strike and how much of the design is visible. There are also broad strikes, where the coin is struck without the collar that gives it a standard shape, resulting in a stretched or enlarged coin. These can fetch similar prices to off-center strikes. Let's not forget about repunched mint marks, where the letter indicating the mint location was stamped more than once, resulting in a noticeable overlapping of the mint mark. Some 1940D and 1940S cents have this kind of error, and collectors love them. Depending on the strength and clarity of the repunching, these can be worth up to $200 or more. So, what's the most valuable 1940 wheat penny ever sold? Well, an absolutely stunning example graded MS68 red by PCGS, with vibrant luster and flawless surfaces, sold at auction for over $14,000. Yes, that's right, more than $14,000 for a single 1-cent coin. These top-tier examples are extremely rare, and only a handful exist in that kind of condition. Now let's talk about today's current market. As of this year, the coin collecting community remains very active, and prices for high-grade Lincoln cents continue to rise. While most 1940 wheat pennies in circulated condition are still very affordable, the demand for mint state coins, rare errors, and top-grade examples has never been stronger. Coin dealers and auction houses regularly list MS67 and MS68 examples for several $1,000s. Even on platforms like eBay, verified coins with strong eye appeal and rare errors are commanding impressive prices. So, what should you be looking for if you have some old coins laying around? First, check the date 1940. Then, check the mint mark. Look for a D4 Denver or S4 San Francisco, and see if there are any unusual features, like doubling in the lettering, off-center designs, or a mint mark that looks like it was stamped twice. And of course, check the overall condition. Coins that still show full detail and have a nice shine might be worth grading. If you think you have a valuable coin, it might be worth sending it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. They can authenticate and grade the coin, which can dramatically increase its resale value. In conclusion, the 1940 Abraham Lincoln wheat penny may seem like just another old coin, but it holds a special place in American history and the hearts of collectors. From its beautiful design and wartime origins to the rare varieties worth thousands, this humble cent has the potential to be a true treasure. So check your change, look through those old coin jars, and you might just find a piece of history worth a small fortune. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss another video about rare and valuable coins. Drop a comment if you found a 1940 wheat penny or if you have a story to share about a rare coin discovery. Until next time, keep hunting, keep learning, and keep collecting. Today we're diving deep into one of the most iconic coins in American numismatic history, the 1953 Lincoln wheat penny. This humble 1-cent coin might look ordinary at first glance, but certain rare varieties can be worth a lot of money in today's market. In this video, we're going to explore the rich history of the 1953 wheat penny, explain what makes it valuable, discuss the different mint marks, and break down the current market values that collectors are paying right now. Let's start with a bit of history. The Lincoln wheat penny series began in 1909, replacing the Indian head cent. It was introduced to commemorate the 100th anniversary of President Abraham Lincoln's birth. The coin was designed by Victor David Brenner and became the first United States coin to feature a real historical figure. On the obverse side, we see a portrait of Abraham Lincoln facing right, along with the words "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and the year of mintage, in this case, 1953. On the reverse side, we find the famous wheat ears on either side of the coin, framing the words 1 cent, United States of America, and the Latin phrase E pluribus unum. Now let's talk about the 1953 wheat penny specifically. This coin was struck at 3 different mints, Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The ones minted in Philadelphia have no mint mark. Those minted in Denver bear the letter D, and coins from San Francisco carry the letter S below the date on the obverse side. In terms of mintage, the Philadelphia Mint produced over 256 million pennies in 1953. Denver struck more than 700 million coins, making the 1953 D penny the most common of the 3. San Francisco, however, minted just over 181 million coins. So in general, none of these versions are considered rare in circulated condition. But here's where it gets interesting. Certain high-grade examples, error coins, and rare varieties from 1953 can sell for hundreds or even thousands of dollars depending on their condition and rarity. Let's start with the condition. As with all coins, the value of a 1953 wheat penny can vary dramatically based on its condition. In average circulated condition, a 1953 wheat penny might only be worth 2 to 5 cents. However, in uncirculated mint state condition, especially with a grade of MS65 or higher, the value can jump significantly. A Philadelphia minted 1953 penny in MS65 red condition can sell for around $30 to $60. A 1953D in MS65 red can fetch between $20 and $50. And the 1953s penny in high mint state red can go for $40 to $75 or more, depending on the market, but the real money is in the rare varieties and error coins. Some of the most valuable 1953 wheat pennies are those with minting errors, such as double die obverse, off-center strikes, repunched mint marks, and die cracks. A double die obverse 1953 penny can be worth several $100s or more depending on how strong the doubling is and the coin's overall condition. One example of a 1953D penny with a strong double die obverse recently sold for over $800 at auction. Another example of a 1953s penny with a dramatic off-center strike sold for more than $450. There are also coins with repunched mint marks, where the DRS was stamped more than once in slightly different positions. These are called RPMs, and collectors actively seek them out. A nice 1953s RPM penny in high mint state red condition can easily sell for over $150. Coins with die breaks or cuts, where part of the design is missing or filled in due to a damaged die, are also in demand and can be worth a premium. Now, let's talk about the most valuable 1953 penny ever sold. In a rare auction, a 1953 Lincoln Wheat penny graded MS67 plus red by PCGS with outstanding eye appeal and almost perfect surfaces sold for more than $10,000. That's right, over $10,000 for a 1-cent coin. It all comes down to condition rarity and the intense competition between high-end collectors. So how can you tell if your 1953 penny is worth money? The first thing to do is check the mint mark. See if you have a plain 1953, a 1953D, or a 1953S. Then, look at the coin's condition. Does it have sharp details, a strong strike, and a rich red color with minimal wear? If so, you might be looking at a coin in mint state condition. You'll want to consider getting it graded by a professional coin grading service like PCGS or NGC to determine its true value. Next, check for errors. Use a magnifying glass to inspect the date, mint mark, and details of the coin. Look for any signs of doubling, off-center strikes, or unusual die markings. If you spot something strange or out of the ordinary, your coin could be worth much more than face value. In today's market, coin collecting is more popular than ever. As more collectors search for high-quality examples and rare varieties, the prices of key dates and mint errors continue to rise. Even if your 1953 penny is only worth a few cents, it's still a piece of American history and part of a beloved series that spans generations. But if you happen to find a rare variety or a high-grade gem, you could be holding a coin worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. So next time you're digging through your old change jar, coin collection, or inherited stash of pennies, be on the lookout for a 1953 wheat penny. You never know, it might be worth a fortune. Thanks for watching, and if you found this video helpful, make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel for more rare coin videos, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an upload. Let me know in the comments if you've ever found a 1953 penny or any valuable wheat cents in your collection. Until next time, keep collecting, keep hunting, and who knows, maybe your next penny could be worth a fortune.